In Commissioners West's absence, I will call the meeting to order. The first item on our agenda is public comment, and we have not had any public comment at this point. So we will move on to item number 2, which is the consent agenda.
I'll move approval.
Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Reinert. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Our next item is to consider recommending approving Resolution 2021-M3, which is the tentative agreement between the County of Anoka and Law Enforcement Labor Services representing the Sheriff's Office licensed deputies for the calendar year 2021.
I will offer the resolution or move it.
Wonderful. Any discussion? I know there's been a lot of work on this, and we're glad that they reached a resolution. And this is a one-year agreement.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would just comment to that, again, we really prefer longer agreements, but we fully understand in the current environment, both economically and otherwise, that it's probably wise to have a shorter agreement and renegotiate this a year from now.
I agree. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that passes. And this will move directly to the county board meeting today. We have got one additional item, and that is to restructure and fill administrative license and passport services position. Service Center Specialist, grade 9, 0.6 FTE, and 2.2 FTEs, restructuring to a 1.0 FTE Service Center Specialist. And I see that we have D there. Do you want to comment on this? I know we've been seeing a lot of this happening.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Dee Goodman, Deputy County Administrator. So over the last couple months, we have made a decision at our license center that instead of using part-time workers, which we have been doing over the past years, we are going to take 0.6 positions and turn them into full-time positions. We're feeling that we can fill hours, especially with COVID. We've seen a lot of part-time workers have to make a decision if they're going to work part-time or if they're just going to stay home with their children. And so what we're finding out is because the system, MNLARS, everything just keeps getting complicated, we really need to have a full FTE handling that load. And because the training takes at least a year for somebody to get fully on board and handle or have the ability to handle all the transactions, we really feel that we need to make that commitment to our employees. So we've been steadily taking our 0.6 or our part-time jobs through attrition as they're leaving, and we're taking, like you see here, 2.6s, which 1.2s, and we're turning them into a 1.0 FTE to handle that, and then we'll be kind of scraping up those 0.2s, and eventually we'll put that into a 1 FTE. So we won't see an increase in our FTEs, but we're just kind of rearranging how we do it. We're also, I think we'll be able to get, people who are looking for a career at the License Center, and we're working on some broadbanding with that. So if they work full-time, we'll be looking at moving them up through a broadband position, and this is kind of a piece to it too.
Anything to get our license centers improving and back to normal, right?
Yes, I agree. I know there's been some concerns, and I think I've met with Rhonda Sivaraj, our county administrator, as well as the License Center management team on what we can do, and we're looking at a lot of different ways. Right now, we're seeing over 300 walk-ins a day. We're taking over 300 appointments. They're working, but COVID has hit our, we made it through whole 2020, and we did awesome. But that did hit us, and now we're kind of having the repercussions of some of our staff having to stay home now because their children are on 14-day COVID. So it's a double whammy, but we're looking at things we can do to improve that and help our employees be good employees. So,
Madam Chair, I'd like to move this.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion. Commissioner Schulte.
Madam Chair, I will go on record just saying that our performance in our license centers is unacceptable, and I'm not blaming people. I think we have great staff. I think we have good leadership there. We've been beaten down by MNLARS, and right on the heels of MNLARS, we have COVID. But it is unacceptable, and we need to change it. We need to find a way to evolve. But beyond that, the staff at the license centers need to know that we support them, that we're behind them, that we want them to succeed in every way possible, and we'll do whatever it takes, including these restructures as time goes on, but that we, as leaders, need to do better so they can do better. We need to figure that out. We need to find out what our path is, because if the next 2 years are like the last 2 years, I would suggest we get out of the license business and we send it to the private sector and we find some other ways to help our citizens, because the last 2 years have not been helpful enough for our citizens. But I think it's important for staff to know that we're 100% behind them and we'll do whatever it takes to make this successful. But if it proves that it can't be changed, it's time to cut bait. So we'll keep our finger on that. We'll keep moving towards a positive direction and supporting them in any way we can. But with at the same token, being cognizant that we do have to watch the bottom line, and it's not all about money, but it's about services we can provide. And if we can't do those services in a reasonable and timely fashion, we shouldn't be in the business.
I agree. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes, and that will move directly to the county board this morning. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Very efficient.